Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Not bad. One more time. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. How are we doing? Everybody alive and well? Well, my name is William Vasquez. For your purposes, I am Dr. William Vasquez. I'm a teacher in the BAS program. So sooner or later, some of you will see me. Today, we're celebrating Veterans Day. Thomas Jefferson said, "A decent respect for mankind." And that's all veterans want. That's all we want. A decent respect. Now, if you'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you'll remain standing, a moment of silence. Thank you. They did a great job. I had nothing to do with it. Just so you'll be aware. At this point, I want to introduce the person that, as far as the university is concerned, is actually the chapter advisor. I'm kind of a faculty helper, right? I am a veteran. I'll tell you more about myself in just a little while. But I'm helping get the group organized, working with the folks. But the person that needs the due respect, Dean Massey.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Jeff Nassy. I am the Dean of Academic Affairs, and I'm honored to also serve as the Student Veterans Chapter Advisor. You're more than a helper there, Professor Vasquez. You do a great job. Look at me, I'm a little baby in that picture. You guys have me there. First of all, I have just a few remarks. I want to begin by saying thank you. You know, Veterans Day is about thanking our veterans. And of course, we're all here to celebrate it. You know, I always think about as we get close to Veterans Day, of course, we're enjoying the day off tomorrow and that type of thing. But of course, we know that many of our brothers and sisters didn't make it back, you know, and we honor them as well on this day. So first of all, I want to thank the people who were able to help the Student Veterans of America pull this off today. I look back, I see Mr. Joe Pickering, the Director of Student Life. I know Leo is back there. Thank you all from Student Affairs who have really supported this effort. Let's give them a round of applause. About a year and a half ago, or 2 years, it's been 2 years, we at North Campus began a new era under some new leadership of our campus president, Dr. Avis Proctor. And one of the first things she was talking with me about as a veteran, working with her, was what we could do to support the student veterans on campus. And one of the things the student vets, now this organization, so you know, Student Veterans of America, has been around since 2005. In fact, I was teaching, I remember the student, Derek Holcroft. He was a U.S. Army veteran in my ENC 1101 class. And he said, we don't really have anything formal on campus. And together we worked and we established our chapter here of SVA. So it's been around a long time. And since that time, the SVA has always been looking for a space. They've always said, we'd like a space for veterans. And one of the things Dr. Proctor has done, she's created a Veterans Resource Center here on campus. I believe we're the only one college-wide to have the Veterans Resource Center. And it is a space in the Academic Success Center where veterans can go to receive a variety of resources. It's staffed by SVA members, and Professor Vasquez does some office hours over there as well. So it's a great resource. So Dr. Proctor, I'd like to thank her publicly. She's been super supportive of our efforts in SVA, and the Veterans Resource Center is just a tangible example of that. Dr. Proctor? She's back there.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm limping up here today, but I'm still here. As Dr. Nassy said, what we do for our veterans is very important to all of us here, the leadership team here. In fact, I have several folks on the leadership team that have some kind of affiliation with the military. And we staffed, we put in the Academic Success Center, a Veterans Resource Center. I know you have very passionate leaders in the SVA club. I engage them from time to time across the campus. But, you know, we set aside the Veterans Day as one day that we have off to honor those who served in the military for us to have the freedoms that we have. But really it should be something that we celebrate every day. When you get up and you have the freedom to move about you know, society without being hindered because of what you look like or what you do or what you believe, those are freedoms that we really should not take for granted. And the video you showed a moment ago, freedom to worship, freedom of expression, to speech, and right to vote, all those things we have that folks fought for us. And so although we set aside this one day to recognize veterans, is really something that we should celebrate every day. So without further ado, I won't delay your program, but I'm glad to see the students here that are engaged, and I commend the leadership, not only from Dr. Nassy, but also the students that are in the club and the faculty that take the time to make sure that it's a viable, vibrant club here, that we're addressing needs for veterans as well. All right, so stay tuned. Great program ahead.
And just before I introduce our keynote speaker for this afternoon, and we get on with the rest of the program, I have to recognize our club, my club, I like to think, of Student Veterans of America. These guys have really worked hard to put this event on and other events. So first I'd like to introduce our public relations go-do-everything guy, Marcus Freisberg. Nicole St Fleur. She's our secretary. She's involved in like every club here, but she's a student veteran. Our vice president, Lyndon Campbell. Happy birthday. Lyndon is a fellow Marine. Today is the Marine Corps birthday. Hoorah. And our president, Joe Foch. And all of the student veterans, they've done an outstanding job in really putting this together. Thank you. Thank you so much. And without further ado, I'll introduce our keynote speaker. This is Petty Officer Fox from the U.S. Navy, active duty.
many fellow veterans do we have in here so far, like that served the country? Okay, quite a few. I just want to thank everybody that has given their time. You know, that's very important. So, like I said, or like he said, my name is Petty Officer Fox. I'm an ABF, Aviation Bosses Main Fuel. What I do is we bring on jet fuels onto the aircraft carriers or amphibious assault ships. From there, they go into storage tanks, okay? Then purify them, filter the jet fuels. That way they're clean, clear, and bright to where they can go into aircraft. From there, the mission takes off. That's when they put on their ammo, the pilots get in their aircraft. You have your aviation Bosses Mate handlers, the yellow shirts that you may see on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier, and then they launch out the planes to go do their mission, okay? So we all got a great part in making a mission successful, okay? That's what every veteran's, what they sign up to do. It's not a mandatory, we all volunteer, okay? I came in September 1st of 2008, all right, straight out of high school. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was kind of undecided about college and things like that. So my mom thought it was a good choice for me, you know, to make a great step and become a veteran. From there, I went to boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois. Did 2 months there. After that, I went to my technical school to learn my rate. Okay. That was in Pensacola, Florida. Had a great time. White sandy beaches. You guys should check it out. Just as Pensacola, Florida, they just taught me a lot of things there also. Now, they instilled sharpness, you know, attention to detail while I was in boot camp, but Pensacola, Florida is where, like, I learned my craft and everything, and I had great mentors there, to, you know, to get me to where I'm at today. From there, I went to Sasebo, Japan. Okay, I lived over there for 4 years. I was on a forward deployed ship. Forward deployed, what that means is we're like the Navy's 911. Okay, so anything goes down, anything, we're the first ones out there on the water. Had a great time there. You know, got to go see a lot of museums. Took a couple tours. I climbed Mount Fuji. Hoorah. So, I mean, a lot of great things. And as you guys may know, they had that earthquake out there. We did a little bit of humanitarian work also, helping out with the Japanese civilians and things like that. So, from there, in 2012, I went to the USS Wasp, which is in Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. Has anybody ever been to Norfolk? Okay. But if you guys don't know, that is the Naval's largest base that we have. So lots of different type of ships. I saw that we also have some submariners out here too. So want to give kudos to them also. They're a very important vital aspect to the United States Navy with their intelligence and supporting every mission also. From there, I went to Navy Recruit District, Miami, which I'm in Fort Lauderdale, but I'm right out of Margate. The reason I decided to go recruiting, it wasn't voluntold or anything like that. It's actually you volunteer to become a recruiter. Okay. They send out the best people that that can put the Naval's name and a good aspect out there on the front lines for you guys to see. Okay. So as a recruiter, I wanted to give back to the community. You know, there's a lot of people from different walks of life that are undecided, like I was, that doesn't have nobody telling them, you know, what steps to take or, you know, when to do this, when to do that. Some people just need a little bit more guidance and mentoring, things like that. So I felt like that was something I could give back, you know, to the United States Navy instead of just serving the country. But I've had a great career so far. Been in 7 years. 13 more left to go when I retire. So I can't complain. Had fun. Within the 7 years, I've been to 15 different countries, multiple times, seen the world, getting paid to see the world, and also, defending United States against foreign enemies. So, what Veterans Day means to me is just giving gratitude to all the ones that are here and memorializing the ones that have fallen and sacrificed time and family. Okay. You guys may not know it, or you may know, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people here have some ties to somebody in the military. Okay. Veterans Day. You need to be thankful. Okay. There's people out there risking, like I said, family times, sacrificing. Okay. People gone for years. 9 months deployments, things like that, to make sure everybody here in the United States is free to walk, talk, things that our Constitution states that we can do, okay? That's our whole job, is to defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic, okay? But I just want to I want everybody to give a round of applause just for all the fallen veterans, a nice hoorah, okay? Everybody on three, say hoorah 3 times, okay, for all the veterans, okay, that aren't here today. All right? So 1, 2, 3. Hoorah! Hoorah! Hoorah!
Okay, in fairness, you get to learn a little bit about me. All right. All right, we'll do it that way. I'd like to introduce our president, Joe Foch.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming today. My name is Joseph Foch, and I am the president of the Student Veterans of America. And I can honestly say, before I joined the military, I did not have a direction in life. But I joined, and I found a purpose. And that purpose was, I became part of a group. It wasn't me anymore, it was us. And when I went to boot camp, prior to boot camp, I was in some college, high school organizations for service. But it was about me. What could I get from it? But when I joined boot camp, totally different world. It was us. When one of us made a mistake, we all paid for that mistake. And one of us failed, we all failed. So I learned how to work with other people. And what I got from it was, how I knew I got something from boot camp was, I had experience. On my first ship, USS Seattle, one of my fellow shipmates was attacked. I went in and I helped him. And I don't remember what I did. The next day he told me what I did. Still to this day, I cannot recall. He thanked me for helping him because he was attacked. He was bruised and I was bruised, and that's when I realized that the military changed me, where I would go in, not knowing what would happen to me, but I would risk my life for a fellow sailor. And that's what boot camp did. I said, you know what? It's not me, it's us. And that's the way we have to treat our organizations also in the school. It's not you just as a member, it's us as a group. If we fail, we all fail. Not just one person can take the blame for it. And I also learned respect. Respect for others. Because without respect, how can you move ahead? Because with that, you got to overlook the differences, because we all different. And if we don't overlook the differences, we're going to go nowhere. And the same with your professors, with the positions of authority. We might not always like the person who is the instructor, who may be our boss, but they have a position of authority over us. We should respect their title, and we should respect their position, even though we may not agree with their point of view or their standing on an issue, but we should respect them for who they are and what they represent. But what Veterans Day means to me is we honor those who, past, present, and future, who are serving or who have served the country. And I also want to remember those who didn't make it back because unfortunate circumstances. The families still on this day and friends still feel the effect, especially not only on this day, but every single day. I also want to thank the POWs who went through unforeseeable treatment, which I could not imagine. But lastly of all, I just like to think there are probably a lot of people here, the family of the service members. Because without the family, you play a vital role in the support of your loved ones. Because you are here making sure things are going smooth. So they, when they are deployed, they can relax and just concentrate on fighting and preserving their lives of their comrades and also of themselves. Because they know that you are here taking care of things at home. We owe all your families a big thank you, and I would like to get applause for the families of the veterans. And that's what Veterans Day means to me. It's celebrating everyone, the families, the veterans, past, present, who haven't returned, who did return. But it's a very special day, and remember to thank the vet, and also when you thank the vet, tell them thank you to their families also.
All right, our Vice President, Lyndon.
Hoorah! Hoorah! Right. Once again, I'm Lyndon Campbell, and I'm the Vice President for the SVA, North Campus Chapter. I originally was born in Jamaica, and I migrated to the United States when I was 16 years old. I attended Coconut Creek High School. I'm a local kid. At 16, I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life, to be honest with you. I really had no idea. A friend of mine decided he was in this, and I was like, hell no, because I'm not going to any military. By the time I was a senior, I did not know what I was going to do with my life. And I decided, hey, why not? He's going and I'm going with him. I think that's the best thing I ever did. I'm not a follower, but I must say, I'm glad I followed in that time, because I had a great experience. I ended up being the youngest and the fastest Marine to ever make the rank of non-commissioned officer. At the age of 19. Not only that, I get 2 birthdays a year. Dean Nasty gets 2 birthdays too. Any more Marines in the house? Sorry for you guys. But what Veterans Day means to me. When I was in the military, I did supply and logistics. I was a supply chief. I was young, and a lot of responsibility dumped on me at a young age, and I had to adapt. Not only was I able to adapt, but I was able to learn a lot from older, senior Marines. So I don't want to look young. Trust me, I'm really older than I look. I did 2 tours in Iraq, and I think that's when it dawned on me what my purpose was as far as being a veteran. It's like I got over there. At the time, it was, why are we there? Why are we in Iraq? Should we pull out? Should we stay? Trying to kill morale, in a sense. But I had a few guys with me that didn't see politics, they didn't see none of that. All they saw was the guy next to them. And these guys were older than I am. Some of them was a bit younger, most of them was older than I am. And the camaraderie that we have right now, I can guarantee you right now, everything stops in Iraq today. Today is the Marine Corps birthday, and they take that very serious. They celebrate that at the drop of a dime. If November 10th, I don't care what mission you're going on as a Marine, you're stopping. It's your birthday today, and we're going to celebrate that. And taking that experience and coming out, I realized there's more to it than just serving. Because right now, as you can see, I got out back in 2007, and it's like I still feel like I'm in. Because the crowd that I'm with, the veterans that I surround myself with, they're all about carrying on that camaraderie that we had while we were in. And I see it every day, and I just want to say what Veterans Day means to me is camaraderie. Whenever I hear Veterans Day, I hear camaraderie, because I like the feeling I get, and I love the people that I surround myself with. Especially if you're a Marine. No disrespect. But I love being a Marine. Once a Marine? That's right. There's no ex-Marine. And I love that. Veteran Day means camaraderie to me. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this over to a treasurer. Thank you, guys.
I'm not the treasurer. All right. Next is actually our secretary, Nicole.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole St Fleur, and yes, I am the Secretary of SBA. I actually joined the military. Well, one, it was against my religion to join, but I did it anyways because I was very rebellious. I got kicked out of the house at 18 because I was in love and I decided not to listen to my mother. So, I was living with my ex-husband actually at the time, and I didn't want to be a burden. He was living with his mother. I didn't want to be a burden. So I decided to join the military because that's the only way that I knew that I wouldn't be a burden on anyone, which that was the best decision that I actually made in my life. In my career, I was a chemical specialist, so I dealt with nuclear biological chemicals. I had my own office. I was the only one in the unit that could do the job that I could do. So, when you see gas chambers, or we call them CS chambers, but I was the one who conducted that. I was the one who detoxed the vehicles and everything else. That was my career. And don't get me wrong, as being a female, you have a lot of people that try to compete and get your job, but you always have to be on top of your game. So, I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. I loved it. I loved it. I really did. What Veterans Day means to me is Veterans Day means freedom. It means freedom to me, and what a veteran means to me is pride. It's sacrifice. It's all the above, because these people are away from their families. They're away from their spouses, their children, and everything like that. So I take heed on that. And when I say it means freedom to me, because I can sit here and I can speak my truth and give my opinion, and I can sit here with these gentlemen, and my opinion means as much as his opinion or every other male or female's opinion in this room. Right. Not only does it mean that, also I can vote for whomever I want to. I can marry whomever I want to. I can be whoever, whatever I want to be without anybody holding me back but myself. Right. That's what freedom means to me. That's what being a veteran and Veterans Day means to me. Right. Thank you guys.
Okay, I know you've been waiting. Now, our treasurer, Mark.
Can everybody hear me in the back? Yeah. Can I get a hook? I don't like using microphones. I'm from New Jersey. We're loud. So, it's funny because they said I was public relations for Student Veterans of America, and I tell everybody, this face was made for radio. So how can I be the face of the operation? Seriously. Anyway, a little bit about me. I joined the Air Force in 1994 when I was 18 years old. And I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Believe it or not, I was a young long hair. All I wanted to do was listen to music, play music, and bang my head to that music. But when I joined in 1994, you know, I got a sense of camaraderie. There were a lot of different people from a lot of different places, a lot of different cultures that you're just not used to getting in such a small environment. So, and as our president said, you have to help each other out to get through basic training. You develop that camaraderie, that brotherhood, and it gets you through those 6 weeks. And it's tough, but we made it. And I remember they sent me off to Germany the first time, and they had me out on the runway. Like our vice president, I was supply chief, and I remember they told me the first day, and this was a life-changing experience for me, because they said, hey, we got an aircraft on the runway that is getting ready to take off, but it needs a part because it's broken. And we need you to take it out to a running aircraft and drop that part off to the maintainer so that jet can take off and go to Bosnia and drop off supplies for our folks in the Army. Now when I drove up to that truck and I handed that part to the maintainer on the aircraft, that changed everything for me. That was like, oh wow, this is a sense of completion. I know what it is to be a veteran in the military, you know? And I had a lot more experiences like that. But the main experience for me, which made me realize what being a veteran was 9/11. I was in England on vacation when the towers got hit, and it crushed my spirit as someone from Jersey, because I was so close and I'd been there so many times. But when I went to visit my friend on the base that very same day, what I saw from the folks in England, they had surrounded the base perimeter, which is fenced off from the English, with flowers, showing their love for the folks in the military, because they understood that there was going to have to be a sacrifice made by those men and women in uniform. They're going to have to leave their family members behind, and they're going to have to get through some tough times in the coming years. And we all have. And, you know, it was a much different military now than it was in Doc Vasquez's era. And I want to mention Doc Vasquez because he is a Vietnam veteran in this room, and he needs to get a round of applause for sure. So when we come home from these deployments, we are greeted in Baltimore International Airport with love and respect and signs saying, thank you for what you do. Welcome home. Glad you're home safe. They have flags. They have everything you can think of, pretty much. And it just gives you this sense of completion. And that's what being a veteran means to me. And when I got out, I was kind of trying to keep that on the down low. You know, just let me be a student here at Broward College and get through this. And then I ran into Kashad over in the math lab, and he said, you look like a veteran. Do you know about Student Veterans of America? I said, no, I don't. I said, so how did you know? You know, he's like, you got that look. And then I started asking other students on campus, like, yeah, you look like a veteran. So, you know, now, instead of trying to contain that, I wear it with a sense of pride, because when you're in, it is something that you do, and the uniform is something that makes you stand out. Now, you know, we're a little bit more camouflaged. But I want to thank each and every one of you for your support to the veterans that are still over there doing what they need to do overseas to protect the sovereignty of this nation. Because without you, there is no us. And I just want to say thank you very much. Please take the time to thank a veteran today. And thank you very much.
as a special recognition for Veterans Day, we have a couple of groups here, represented here. The Career Center team, and of course, Club Driven. And they will present flowers to our veterans.
I'm Heidi Schwartz, Career Center Coordinator, and I invite everyone to stop into the Career Center, especially our vets. We're working very closely with you, and I have Jennifer Moscoso, who's our job developer here. And today, what we'd like to do is present you with a small token of our appreciation for your service to not only Broward County, but the country. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have all of us here up front, and I guess at this point it's time for questions and answers. But of course, before we can give answers, we need questions. You see how I figured that out? Right.
Michael's voice is loud, but I don't think we should miss the opportunity to hear from you, Dr. Vasquez. Absolutely.
I think we have a slide here somewhere. I'll let you read for a minute. I was in you can probably tell that, I was in just a few years before these youngsters. I served in the Navy from 1962 to 1970 as a missile, and I worked on the Missile Control Center. I'm the guy that aimed the big missile. At that time, the bad guys were the Soviet Union. The bad guys were the Soviet Union. And if I get choked up a little bit, well, you can see the third button, the third bullet here. I have founded, actually at this point, I'm president of 3 different veterans organizations, and I'm now working with the SVA. This is something that I've done for a very long time. I've been doing this for about 25 years. I did survive the Vietnam era, because 1962 was, to 1970 was the Vietnam era. I was in the submarine force. In the submarine force, of course, I made 6, it's a whole different service. I made 6 Cold War patrols, and those Cold War patrols were typically ran 65 to 70 days. So you were underwater for 2.5 months, right? But the idea then was secrecy. And this is very important. We used to like to say, I couldn't have done what I did because obviously I wasn't there when I did it. But that was it. That was the whole idea. So it is very interesting, you know, when you talk to a Marine or Air Force or whoever were in Vietnam, they've got this row of medals. I have 3. Because we weren't there. It's very simple how it worked, right? It's very simple how it worked. But I guess the most rewarding moment for me was when I had Russian students. Because if I pulled trigger, they wouldn't have lived. Sure. And we have to deal with that. So appreciate that. I appreciate these guys. We did our job. Thank you.
much. There's no words that can express what you really mean to us in this country. So thank you. My question is, can you share the importance of mentorship, as not just joining the military, but how important mentorship, finding a mentor to take you through those tough times mentally and things like that to help you develop inside the military.
Let me respond just very quickly, and then I'll pass it along to the team, because they're actually the guys here. But now I can tell being Nancy, you can give me a title. I'm a mentor. So I'll pass it along to these guys.
Being a mentor, and having a mentor in the military really means everything. I have fond memories of my first supervisor, Master Sergeant retired Darrell Wilson. I always remember him taking the time. We would be crazy busy at night. Aircraft would be coming in from Bosnia, running from place to place on base, trying to make sure everybody gets what they need so they can get their job done. But I remember him specifically saying around 8:30, quarter to 9, we're going to take about 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to conduct some training. And that training didn't mean just on-the-job training. It meant, going over things like Air Force core values, what the enlisted force structure was. So having a mentor in the military means everything, because, when you never really leave that protege status, but you have taken on those skills that you got from your mentor, and you pass those on. And all of us have had the privilege of supervising someone at one point or another in their career. So they take what they learn and they pass it on. The best thing to do when you're a mentor is take all those good points from every individual that you have, and things that you don't find useful to you in your mentorship abilities, you can leave those at the door. But mentoring is one of the most important things, and without people in the military, there really is no military, because, as our Vice President mentioned, that camaraderie means everything. And some of that camaraderie stems from mentorship. Anybody else?
One thing I got from the mentoring is that when you didn't succeed in a service, you didn't fail, you just regroup, refocus, and go ahead again. And I apply that to my life today, because if I don't succeed, I never fail. I just regroup, refocus, and charge on again.
Just want to touch upon the whole mentoring thing. Before I went in, I didn't have any form of guidance myself, like I said prior. But on my way in, I did have a few people that really, really believed in me. One of them was my grandmother. And she told me whatever I did, I'm supposed to be the best at it. And if I'm not the best, be at least one of the best. And I feel like I'm living those right now. So before you go in, the fact that you've never been in the service before, if you plan on it, find that person that's positive in your life, my friend. That person that means a lot and want to see you go somewhere. And take advice from them, regardless of how big or small it seems. And I promise you, it will pay off, man. Okay? I know today's Veterans Day, but as an individual, if you want to move forward, regardless of the route you plan on taking, look for that path, that positive individual. You will become successful. Thank you. You're welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm CS1. Actually, it's Petty Officer First Class in the Navy. I know this is the Q&A, but I think I needed to let this out before I leave. I'm running a little late. 10 years from 2003 to 2014. It was actually 10 because of the months. You guys up there on that podium, I respect you guys. What does it mean to me about being a veteran? I apologize for my back to you guys. What it means to me to be a veteran is honor, courage, and commitment. Honor, these guys gave up. The courage to go out there and fight, and the commitment, the family, the time, the pressure, the pain, under injuries I have. Those 3 words means a lot to me. when it's a veteran. Thank you once again, and please go out there and represent and respect those veterans. Thank you.
Any other questions?
All right, well, so once again, any other questions? Well, then thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow is the actual Veterans Day. I hope all of you are involved in community. For those of you that live in the Coral Springs area, there will be a ceremony at the Veterans Park in Coral Springs. I will be part of the group there. I'm seeing a hand over here.
Yes, sorry. Is it the Veterans Park of St. Fleur and Lyons?
No, it's Royal Palm, across from, if you know the area, across from Park Summit. Right? As a matter of fact, I can let you know here now, the keynote speaker is actually a lady colonel, a full-bird colonel who was a nurse in Vietnam. Personal friend of mine, and we've known each other for quite some time. She will be speaking, and but everyone there, the president, the group there, are all veterans, and so you'll hear a few people talk, and obviously a couple of the commissioners will speak, but I just want to make you aware of that. All right, hand again.
Sorry. What time?
What, do you want to ride? Let me give you a little history lesson here. Veterans Day was originally known as Armistice Day. I don't think anybody here is old enough to remember that except me. But, right, there's one. Right? And it was actually the declaration of peace following World War I. And one of the agreements that were made at that time, I know it's kind of a long answer, but I'm getting to the answer. Right? It would occur on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th year. And here we are. So, therefore, 11 o'clock. Well,
AM or PM?
go home. Thank you very much.